This is the NSIC Weekly Podcast. A little bit of a slow start there. I had a black screen. I thought, man, did I go to outer space or something? I'm Tom Frederick, voice of the University of Sioux Falls football team. He's Matt Witwicky from D2Football.com, covers the NSIC, or as I better know him as, the oldest trick-or-treater that I've ever doled out candy to in the 37 years that I've lived in this house.
Didn't have any plans on doing any trick-or-treating, but you know what? When you started chirping on the socials about how you had all the extra candy, well, you know, people don't understand how close we live together without that being something that was planned.
Yes, it's within a mile. And you drove up here, even though the lights were out, you rang the doorbell. And my wife goes, "Who can that be?" We turned the lights out. We go upstairs and, man, open the door. Biggest shock of my life. There's Witt.
What a pleasant surprise. I mean, and she was thrilled to see me per usual. And she said, "What a welcome sight."
Yeah.
So whatever one is referring to is my guy Tom here was chirping a little bit on the socials. Normally, you took a break from talking about yard work and things like that, and went ahead and you mentioned Almond Joy, which caught my attention probably. And I didn't realize at the time that you were going to be guarding your Almond Joy the way you were. I was expecting to walk away with a little bit more product than I did.
Hey, man's got to do what a man's got to do. He's got to protect his house and home and his Almond Joys and Mounds and Kit Kats and Hershey's, the fun size.
Yeah, something like that.
We made mention that we live in close proximity. I was riding bike today, came by your place. What the heck have you done to tick off your neighbors? I see a few of the townhomes right next to yours are for sale.
I know. And I'd be okay with some new neighbors. I'm not going to lie, but no, I haven't paid that much attention. I didn't realize, but thanks for creeping by.
Yeah, I'm stalking you today.
Well, let's go ahead and kind of walk through a little bit before we get into our games. We always kind of keep things light here. And Tom, I'll let you break down a little bit of this here. What you got cooking?
Oh, this was our post game. USF entertained Winona State Saturday, and we had 3 guests from the player contingent. This one representing the offense, guy who's not superstitious in any way, shape, or form. Number 13 there is Isaiah Emmanuel, wide receiver, a grad transfer from Minnesota State Mankato. He had a big second half, caught something like 3 balls for 90-some yards as the Cougars won 49-24. That's Tim Hyatt on the left, Isaiah in the middle, and yours truly on the right side there.
Did you was that the most lint-filled microphone that you guys could find right there?
Yeah, I don't know where the lint came from, but I was thinking that when Glow was talking. Yeah, geez, where did all that white piece of fuzz come from? But it's there.
Yeah, I can see it. Since I was last up with you, it had a fair amount of lint then. I just kind of let it go then, which isn't really like me. Normally, I bust your chops for things like that. But I can see it's only gotten worse since then. So
I'll do something about that between now and Saturday, okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just, we can't just let everything go like that. But let's go ahead and kind of move along. And what you ended up doing, I believe that was Saturday night, was it not?
It was. That actually was my 3rd anniversary, Saturday, November 1st. Got married on August 1st. And we went out and celebrated a little bit. That's my lovely wife, Sharon.
You have a Moscow Mule there?
I had a Moscow Mule, yes.
Gosh, I haven't had one of those in a while. That sounds actually kind of good.
It was tasty.
What did Sharon have?
I can't even remember the name of it, and she didn't like it, and the bartender was nice enough to make her a different drink. She drank about 1/3 of that and said, "Yeah, it's not for me."
You didn't finish it for her?
Oh, no, I didn't like it either. I tasted it. Yuck.
Fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and what was I up to? Well, let me tell you. Apparently, hair thing where it was windy out there.
Oh,
So I took my son Wyatt, 18 years old, senior in high school, down to Dakota Wesleyan, over wherever they're at. And he made a college visit, and he's made a few college visits. And this is the first one that's, talking to him a little bit about playing baseball potentially. And so ended up getting a chance to see former USF football player and current athletic director Ross Simple while I was there. He mentioned to me that my hair has changed a little bit in color since I last saw him, which I don't think he meant that in a not necessarily complimentary way. And then went ahead and had a great visit. He enjoyed it there, and he's looking to do biochemistry, and he got a chance to talk with the professor there that kind of runs the deal, and he enjoyed it quite a bit. We'll have to see kind of where he ends up landing on that. But now, as we go ahead and we kind of talk more about family stuff,
don't move. No, go back.
Go
Go
don't move.
back. I have to say something here.
You have to.
Yes. In the picture with Wyatt there, you have facial hair.
I do.
And you have a set of light colored glasses on. How many
I do.
people have more than one pair of glasses, and what happened to your whiskers?
I have probably 15 pairs of readers.
Readers?
Those are readers.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. So in any event, and the whiskers I got rid of because you know what, Tom? That was for me, that was at about, I don't know, 10 days. And that after a while, I don't care much for all the itchy. I know that's more of a you're okay with all that, but I'm not.
Okay.
So, but
you can get by with just readers. I got bifocals here, not but bifocals.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, okay.
I always had great vision, and then I had to get readers. That's the extent of my knowledge about wearing any kind of glasses.
All right.
But so my son Wyatt, Blue Jays fan, has been for probably about 5 years, ever since Josh Donaldson was a stud with them. Still remember he had the jersey and everything. And he and Willie, my dog, were cheering on the Blue Jays. So let's just say that Mr. Mop Top here had himself a challenging weekend with some of the results. Tom, I think you and the rest of the world were cheering for the Blue Jays to beat the Dodgers. And yet again, things didn't go how we wanted.
Couldn't believe the way the game ended Friday night. The ball stuck at the bottom of the fence. So instead of a run coming home, there was runners on second and third. And then it ends on the double play. Hernandez getting Barger off second base on the liner to left. And then Sunday night. Was it Sunday night? It was Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Couldn't believe it. The Blue Jays had ample opportunity. Here's a question for you. Force play at the plate. Do you slide in or do you run through the bag?
You go head first, you're safe.
Head first, you're safe?
But think about it. You when you slide like that, you propel yourself forward. When you slide feet first, you are slowing yourself down in the process.
Well, let's just say Isaiah Kiner Falefa did not get the greatest jump off third base.
No, he had no secondary lead to speak of, actually.
Nope. But man, what a game, what a finish. And that Yamamoto.
Yeah, I mean, heck of a series. I'm just, kind of tired of, the teams that have far and away the most money that they're, that they're the one who gets rewarded. Baseball needs to figure something out there.
Yamamoto earned all of his $350 million in the first year, if you ask me.
Well, fair enough. Now, Tom, something that, speaking of, taking a look at different things that are related to, the what am I trying to say? The sports world. Then we also have, our slides aren't working. So we have a situation going on right now.
Oh, no.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead, Tom, and kind of reload the slides here momentarily because I think that we have a bit of a situation going on. with our slides. I'm going to go ahead and recheck that as we speak, because right now, yeah, they are not loading. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to try and reload things right now as we speak, Tom. And you and I will go from there here momentarily. Now, while you're doing that, why don't you go ahead and break down for us who the players of the week were while I go ahead and see if I can load this stuff up for us. Is that okay, buddy?
Yeah, I can handle that. I just know
Okay.
enough not to talk to you specifically while you're loading slides because you get irritated when that happens.
Well, it might be because of the source, but I'll let you carry on.
From the home office in beautiful downtown Burnsville, Minnesota, here are the young men cited for their exceptional play on Saturday, November 1st. The special teams honor. We're going to start with special teams first. Jake Pacina, Augustana's kicker punter. The Forney, Texas junior, kicked field goals of 46 and 49 yards. He hit all three of his points after touchdown, and he averaged better than 40 yards a punt as the Vikings remained unbeaten. They downed Northern State 27-14.
Okay.
Right. Are we ready?
Nope.
Okay. The defensive spotlight shines brightly on MSU Moorhead's Mikhail Pearson. The Dragons' senior secondary member out of Glendon, Minnesota, had 2 interceptions, 2 passes defended, and 5 tackles as Moorhead rolled Bemidji 49-21. And the Dragons rolled Bemidji in large part to senior quarterback Jack Strand, the pride of Bloomer, Wisconsin. Strand set a school record with 7 touchdown passes. He completed 32 of 42 throws for 366 yards. Ooh, the slides are back. It's the second time this season Strand's been Offensive Player of the Week. His final year, something so far. Wow. More than 3,000 yards passing and 34 scoring strikes in 9 games. Congratulations to the POWs, Strand, Pearson, and Pacina.
Well, buddy, I'm going to go ahead and move us on into our breaking news segment.
Sure.
And our breaking news segment here we have it. You see, once again, our crack staff spending countless hours on the technology that we have here with breaking news. I'll go ahead and let you kind of read down the list, and we'll talk about it for a moment, but we're going to take a much deeper dive yet. We're just going ahead and making sure everybody knows the latest.
Yeah, I wish we had some sound effects, but Cracker Jack.
Right now, we're pretty happy with the slideshow.
Yeah. Super Region 4. These are the top 10 teams in order of it's last week was alphabetical. This has something to do with the way their seasons have gone. The defending national champions, Ferris State, in the number 1 position. Findlay of Ohio is 2. They are both unbeaten. The University of Indianapolis from the Great Lakes Valley Conference, 3rd. On the 4 line, you've got Ashland of Ohio. And then from the NSIC, unbeaten Augustana is 5th. Minnesota Duluth is 6th. Truman State from the GLVC is 7. Minnesota State Mankato is 8. Upper Iowa, of all teams, is 9. And Northwood of Michigan is on the 10 line. The top 8 teams in each of the 4 super regions make the national tournament. Final pairings will be announced on November 16th. But Witt, first go round, 3 of the top 10 from the NSIC, and I guess we'll be talking about them and the entire Super Region 4 top 10 a little bit later on.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give a 2-second look here at, for those tuning on in, the thing we were most interested in last night when we were kind of unpacking some of this as a preview on our Sunday evening show, Inside E2 Football, was Augustana going to be on the 3 line or the 5 line? Because either they're going to get rewarded for being unbeaten, or they're going to go ahead because of the numbers and the strength of schedule that's been one of the lower ones in the region. Are they going to go ahead and get slotted down a bit because the teams ahead of them have a much higher strength of schedule? And we end up kind of seeing, they're the latter. So we will talk more about that. So if you're Augustana folks, don't be alarmed by this. You got Minnesota State coming up this week. You're going to have every chance to, get yourself in a spot where you want to be here. These are all just moment in time kind of things, and these are not standings. These things, every week, your resume changes and this thing resets. So, Tom, we'll go ahead and break that down into greater detail here shortly. But just wanted to make sure everyone had kind of, if you didn't see the regional rankings, it did come out today right before 4 p.m. And we will do the deep dive later in the show. But for now, Tom, let's go ahead and kind of break down a little bit of the action that we had this week in the conference.
Yeah, let's talk about the week that was. That's a dated reference to an old 60s TV show. Nationally ranked Minnesota State Mankato bounced back from its loss last weekend at Wayne State, easily subduing Southwest Minnesota State. And I mean easily. 7 touchdowns to 1.
Yeah. I mean, this game was 13-7 at halftime. But then Mankato just took off in the second half. Something I found interesting. I mean, the MAV defense has 3 sacks and 3 picks in this game. But if you take a look on the rushing side over to the right, Liberian Gilmore, quarterback, okay, next guy up at quarterback now with the injury to Sims. He is a freshman with them. I think on the roster as a receiver, but he was a high school quarterback in the Chicagoland area at Amos Alonzo Stagg High School. That's I mentioned that because I knew that Amos Alonzo Stagg would ring true with you. I mean, you guys were probably friends back in the day.
John Heisman was in our same class.
There you have it. So, boy, just that wasn't like you to be that quick and have something that was good. I like that. So Gilmore did some nice things running the football, and pretty nice athlete. And I wouldn't be shocked if they were to go ahead and give him certain moments a little bit more than just the end of a football game going forward. We'll have to see.
I got to point out there that Hedenston for Southwest Minnesota State, he's like Jake Adams when USF played Southwest Minnesota State.
Yep.
He was everywhere on the Mustangs.
And he has been for a few years now. He's a real good player.
Yeah. All right. The league's top defense pitched a road shutout in the Twin Cities. Wayne State, man, allowed just over 100 yards to CSP. 100 yards, period. That's it. That's not much.
No, I mean, in 5 first downs. That's a rough day. So, Wayne has really come on the last few weeks, really been establishing that running game. While at the same time, the defense has just been fantastic. And to give a little credit on the Concordia side, Isaiah Ray has been playing very good for them for the Golden Bears in a season that's now been, kind of lost at this point, but he's still balling out, and I want to kind of point him out.
All right. Bemidji's balloon burst in Moorhead. The Beavers' 3-game win streak essentially kaput by half in this one. It was a rivalry game, and it was kaput primarily courtesy one Jack Strand, who we talked about at the top of the show.
Yeah, I did both of us have Bemidji in this one?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we both fell for it. Okay.
Yep.
They had been doing great and really on a nice surge. I'll be honest, I was extremely impressed with how Moorhead was able to kind of have that next play mentality and really go ahead and kind of put it on Bemidji here. And Strand and company and Gage Florence with 12 more grabs. He's now 4 grabs short of the D2 career receptions record. Okay. So that's something that we need to talk about a little bit more going forward. And it's been on my radar kind of off and on. I knew he was approaching it. So 12 grabs will help you get there. That's for sure. But heck of a ball game for a Moorhead team that I thought was really going to have their hands full with Bemidji, who was really playing well. I mean, and they took care of him in a big way here. And not to mention, Tom, they also got back the Axe.
Hmm.
They have Bemidji had won 5 straight in this series. So the last time the Dragons had the Axe was back in 2018. You see that there?
I see that. Got to turn sideways my head to see it, but I see it.
Yes, yes. You can actually keep your head straight and look, but we'll let that go. So,
next one up, my game, my contest. Wasn't much of a contest early. Winona scored the first 14 points in this one. Game was 10 minutes old, and Winona had, boom, hit the Cougars in the nose. But Sioux Falls rebounded nicely, scored 42 of the next 45 to run away with it, generating more than 500 yards of total offense in the process.
yeah, and in this game, let's be frank, Sioux Falls, since coming from the NAI to Division 2, has struggled with Winona State. More than the records may suggest in terms of the team records each year. I know you had some of those. They still have a losing record against them, do they not?
Yeah, Winona's got 7 wins, the Cougars 5 in the NSIC history.
Yeah, when I saw this one going early, and Sioux Falls was having a heck of a time with Jamani Muhammad, who was getting big chunk plays in the running game. And I thought, oh boy, this is going to be one of those games for Sioux Falls. And they were able to kind of go ahead and make Flopmeyer throw it a little bit more. And the USF offense, Tate Schaefer, I think that they have a chance to be a little bit more of a prolific team passing the ball, but there is a trade-off in that when you need to move the chains and you want to be able to have that +1 run game, Cam Dean was a different kind of weapon for sure. But I think there's a lot of promise with Tate Schaefer, and I you look here at the teams that are in Sioux Falls, Tom, whether it's Lacera, whether it is Schaefer, 2 guys who weren't expected to see much of the field at all this year coming in at all. And both, I think, since midseason here, have accounted for themselves very well.
Yeah, Schaefer's at about 67% accuracy, 9 touchdowns, and 1 interception after being elevated from 3rd unit to first string.
Sure.
In the highly anticipated intrastate battle between, what the heck? You changed up the slides on me here.
I did not, my friend.
No,
but that's
my
okay.
bad. UMD.
But if I know I can do that next time, I'm going to.
UMD did what we all knew they would do, and that's treat the new kid on the block rudely. But Jamestown put up more fight and more offense than I thought possible. I expected the Bulldogs to roll by more than 30, if you remember last week. Didn't happen. Jamestown lost by just 16 and had a ton of offense itself.
Yeah, Cole Henches is doing, I think, a very nice job with that offense. You know what? Both he and Nate Burke are not seniors. And you go ahead and you say, okay, what could maybe some of this look like a year from now? Because I realize that they only have 1 win, Jamestown does. But you know what? They have impressed me and hung in games, frankly, better than plenty of the teams that are kind of at that bottom group. And, once again, I thought that they played nicely in this game. Mojo Wirtz continues to be a guy for Duluth and almost, 555 yards of offense. And Luke Deneke is all of a sudden probably become the best downfield threat from any team in the league. What do you think?
He's very impressive for a redshirt freshman. That's averaging nearly 20 yards a catch right there, plus 3 more touchdowns. All right.
Absolutely.
This one was highly anticipated. You've got in-state rivals, Augustana in Sioux Falls, Northern State in Aberdeen. Northern came down south to play at Kirkby Over Stadium. The defending league champion Vikings won convincingly, if not decisively.
Yeah, and we're going to look at some video here in a moment from Sam Tastad, who does work here locally, and he's got some nice video he captured of the contest. So we're going to review that here momentarily. But in watching most of this game, Tom, I had mentioned that I feared that Northern was not going to kind of have that juice and not have the energy and electricity that they have in some of those night games at the bank, because of the fact that this was going to be probably not awesome weather, and at the same time, you know, little chillier during the middle of the day, all of that on the road. And frankly, that's exactly what happened. Um, and Augustana played very good defense, took a team in Northern that was averaging 500 yards of offense a game and held them to 300 here. Um, and just really didn't let them establish things offensively. And this was, I mean, Northern didn't get to double digits until 2 minutes left in the contest. We're going to go ahead and see a little bit of the video right here. And as you and I are watching right now, you're going to see early on, Cody Oswald's had a really nice year. He gets the reception there for the touchdown. He's really come on for them nicely, where we were kind of curious as to who the guys are going to be in that receiver room that are really going to step up for Augustana. And, you know, Jake Pacino, you know, I am known for the guy who never talks about special teams, but, you know, he has been a weapon for them. I really think that. And Mac Molander here, when they're going to go ahead and do a little bit of that Wildcat feel, where they're going to go ahead and do a +1 run, he does a nice job there. And this is just kind of a sign of some of the frustration here that Northern had in this contest, where really just kind of trouble getting things going. And, you know, you go ahead and you see, as we're continuing to kind of watch the highlights here, this is a weapon here that Augustana has with their running back here, Braylon Blunt. And you're going to go ahead and see the touchdown pass here, a play later. He didn't get in. Will Lynch scores. And Lucero had another nice game. And, you know, he's been a very consistent, steady performer for him. And Coach OJ is saying, man, we're at 9-0 right now. And those guys on NSIC Weekly didn't have us going 9-0 is what he's telling them right there. Actually, I don't think he's telling them that at all. But Tom, I think in retrospect here, the fact that Augie had a backloaded, you know, kind of strength of schedule here with, you look at this Northern game, they didn't play Sioux Falls to midseason, then, you know, Mankato at the end. The way that that's kind of played out for them, I think has been perfect, because they had an inexperienced crew and they've gotten a chance to get seasoned together as the season has continued. Now they're not like this inexperienced group right when the timing's perfect for them to have their biggest contest like Northern State and Mankato. So kudos, Augustana, once again, their defense playing very strong, and the offense played a pretty clean game. And Braylon Blunt, I think to them, I think he's really come on and been one of the best weapons in this conference through the back half of the year.
You cannot argue with 9-0, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, the last game was a rivalry contest. Minot State traveled to Bismarck. Mary wins it. They used what they had to do. They got out in front and made Minot State chase them. And Minot State's offense is not built that way. They got a big third quarter lead and they held on at home for the victory.
I was, and by the way, thank you, Mary. If I'm not mistaken, I took them last week. Big win for me. And I was impressed by Damani Wilkes. Did a great job catching all kinds of, not the easiest passes to catch. He had to made some plays and really helped Polo Solomon have a nice day. And they, as you mentioned, Tom, I mean, it was a fairly close game in the first half. And then in the third quarter, they just kind of took off. And that puts Mary in a real uncomfortable spot if they're not able to be close, at least, to being able to control a little bit of that tempo.
Minot.
I'm sorry, Minot. I'm sorry. Evan Lovett continues to be an absolute jackhammer for them. And Carson Christman is great in their run game as well. They just need a little bit more than just that with those guys, because they have no passing game to speak of. So either that or they're going to have to really hold the other team to a low number. And unfortunately for them, that hasn't happened. Kevin Speed one of the best players in the league that a lot of people don't know. Really good defender on that club as well. And we're going to go ahead and see a little bit of the club celebrating. And Tom, this is a game here with the battle for the big lake. Tom, what is the big lake?
I wish I knew. I don't know. You
It
know?
is Lake Sacagawea. Does that sound right?
No.
It's that one. Yes.
You didn't pronounce it.
See,
I could
we've
understand it.
got Owen in the comments here. See?
Sakakawea.
Yeah, I think I said it better, but
No.
yeah, thank you, Owen, for chiming on in. That was me trying to go off the cuff and get that, but I was expecting you to have the answer to that. You take the road trips and all that stuff.
Yeah, but we don't compete in the battle for the big lake, so I'm not up on all the rivalries. Key to the city? Yeah, I know about that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give you a break. Laker chiming in. Laker, of course, knew this. He is the geography master of the surrounding states without any question.
Well,
But
he says it's Sacagawea there. The other one was Sakakawea.
we were close enough. So let's go ahead and watch them celebrating a little bit after the contest.
I love the video, Witt, but I could hear you in the background just cringing because whoever did it with their phone this way and not that way.
Yeah, we were going to let that go, but you know what though? That's how they shoot shorts, video shorts now. Do you know what shorts are?
Something that's small, short, probably about 20 seconds.
Yes, that's how they shoot those, Tom. So that's kind of why we get that now. So it doesn't mean I gotta like it, but that's where we're at.
Say, Witt, with just 2 regular seasons games to play here, I want you to keep in mind that we're going to have to name our offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and coach of the year before we wrap production on the season. Okay?
Fair enough.
I'm also curious to know when we wrap production. When will that be? Is our final show the lead up to game 11, or do we close things down after the conference schedule is complete? And then do we preview week 1 of the playoffs and call it good then? Or
how about we don't plan production in the middle of the show?
You got to ask these questions. Otherwise,
well,
you
don't be afraid to ask off air. But yeah, considering the playoffs are kind of the biggest thing that we have on our plate, we'll figure that out afterwards. But don't worry, I won't keep you in the dark.
Okay. I just got to plan my schedule. I'm a busy man. I got a lot of things going on here in the future.
Well, we'll worry about finishing the show first. So let me have you go ahead and unpack a little bit of the standings, my friend. What caught your eye? Where are we at with things? That kind of stuff.
I like the overall on the right. Augustana at 9-0. Then you go up to Minnesota Duluth at 8-1. Minnesota State Mankato third in the league at 7-2. And then you've got a 6-3 Northern State, Moorhead next in line. Sioux Falls also at 6-3 in that regard. And then Wayne State at 5-4. Everybody else in the Northern Sun is under 500 for the year. In the league, Augie, the only team that has not lost in the Northern Sun yet. Minnesota Duluth's got the 1 loss. And then Minnesota State Mankato is third. And those are the 3 teams that are ranked in Super Region 4. Go figure.
No doubt. Augustana is 9. I mean, we didn't have anybody going 9-0 at this point. So that's impressive. No doubt about it.
Yeah, you're right. Neither one of us had anybody looking this good this late in the year.
Well, let's move on to the top 25. And still have some presence here with Augustana 8, Duluth 10, Mankato 19. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of movement here in a bit. And towards the top time, a lot of the regulars are winning week after week. Ferris, Harding, and so forth. Those two, Tom, will be heavy favorites to meet in Dallas. That's for sure.
Looking at the screen there, Witt, quickly tell me who's in 14th position there?
14th is Findlay,
Oh,
and they're one of the teams in the Super Region, the Oilers.
okay. The other one, 23. Who's the Bulldog there?
They are Wingate.
Wingate. Okay. Trying to catch you off guard, but nope, you know your logos.
Well, considering the one who's got, I'm creating that. I probably need to, but
Okay. You know your cheese bread, you know your pizza, you know your beer, you know your chicken. Man, I had some beautiful chicken tenders from Bosses at the game on Saturday. They are the official provider of food in the media section in the USF press box. And I'm telling you, those chicken tenders were delicious. They were to die for.
Yeah, and you know what, Tom? I always forget about that first and tenders. You know the deal where it's the what do we call it, kitchen, where we're not supposed to know it's them, but it's them.
Pop-up. Isn't it a pop-up kitchen?
I think there's a different word for it, but anyway, mystery kitchen. That's what we call it. But yeah, so in any event, I need to do that again because I'd forgotten, Tom, that they have the hand breaded, never frozen type of deal, and they are really good. Ghost Kitchen. Here we go.
Ghost
John
Kitchen.
Dykstra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, John.
It's the same thing when you hear a noise in the kitchen in the middle of the night. It's a ghost kitchen. We'll be here all night. I'm just gonna be telling jokes. But Tom, moving on from the Bosses here, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a deeper dive as to what happened today in the release for the Super Region 3. Now, Tom, as we look at this here, the top 4 teams, whoever finishes top 4, will host a playoff game. 5 through 8 will be like free agents. They can go anywhere, and they'll be on the road. Now, as we take a look at it here, there's some interesting big games upcoming. 2 against 4 this week. Findlay plays Ashland this week.
Who do you like in that one?
Total toss-up. I took Findlay, but I neither would surprise me there. They're both playing very good football. And two squads in Ohio. Now, if we go ahead and whoever drops that, if Augustana were to win and beat Mankato this week, who they play 5 against 8, Augustana is going to move into that top 4 clearly. Okay, the question then becomes if Findlay were to lose, and all of a sudden Augie's still unbeaten, does Augie maybe get a bump to the point? Maybe the idea where they may be even up to trying to get to that 2 seed. So that would be pretty interesting. Augustana right now, for all the Augie fans tuning on in saying, why aren't we higher up? We're 9-0. The answer is very easy here. Strength of schedule, SOS, if you take a look top, middle, and kind of follow it down the middle of the page, 447 is the lowest number on the page in terms of strength of schedule here in this company. And then if you take a look to the extended right side where it says KPI, second column from the right, they are at 201, which is a low number to be kind of where they're at. That's essentially a measure of your performance this year, but they also have things like margin of victory and strength of your opponent built in. So if they beat Mankato, that number for 0.201 is going to increase. So just kind of sit tight. Augustana's got a big game upcoming here. And frankly, if they don't win that game, you shouldn't have been in third anyway at that point, or wherever you could have been higher. So if Augie wins this next one, they're going to be just fine. Now, Tom, what other thoughts or questions do you have at kind of looking at this as a fresh set of eyes?
Just curious. Say Minnesota State Mankato loses. They'll have 3 losses. Do you anticipate anybody making the field of 8 with 3 losses?
There would be a tendency, Tom, to look at this page here and think, oh, everybody's just going to win out from here, and that's the extent of the losses you're going to see. However, Upper Iowa, for example, who's already below them with 1 less loss, Upper Iowa is going to play Indianapolis yet. Indianapolis is 3 on the list. They're going to be a fairly healthy underdog in that game, if I'm going to be very candid about it. So the question becomes, and I think Northwood still has a tough game left, if I'm not mistaken, on their schedule. So what you don't see here in the graphic, Tom, is that there is some 3-loss teams that would have a chance to potentially move on up if some of the teams were to falter that are towards the bottom half of the page.
Could you name them for us?
Michigan Tech is at 11. Michigan Tech plays Grand Valley this week. Then you've got USF at 12. Got Northern State 13 because USF has a head-to-head against them. Walsh University out in Ohio is 14. Then you got Tiffin 15, another team out that in Ohio. Moorhead 16, Grand Valley 17. Then from there, we have other various teams. You end up getting to Wayne State at 20. Wayne State with 4 losses is probably that's a hill too big to climb. But I've said this for a while, Tom. If you have 3 losses, you're not out of this yet.
Okay.
So, as crazy as this sounds, I think if Mankato lost to Augie, Mankato might still make it in the tournament.
Okay.
Because they would still have some decent numbers, and they've got a huge win over Northwest Missouri State that other teams don't have on their resumes. So, what we mentioned it before, each week this is a new thing. So we could look at this next week. It looks a whole lot different. It's because your resume resets every week.
All right. But it's good to see actual power points come into play here as opposed to last week's alphabetical listing.
PowerPoints, but
Yeah.
okay. I know what you're getting. The actual data, no doubt.
The data, you bet.
Well, speaking of actual data,
that weekly lead of mine is down to 1.
I know Mary coming through for me.
Yeah, we both missed on that Moorhead win over Bemidji. You picked Mary. Minot paddled me. I went with the wrong team there. I didn't see that one coming, but I still got a slim 1-game lead on you here.
I think we have some tougher games this week than we've had in a few.
All right. I got my pen ready to mark down how we do. Okay.
That's right. That's right. You're the keeper of all that. So for all I know, I might be winning and you might just be fixing this, but we're going to go along with it.
Doesn't this look like an honest face?
Maybe. Oh, and by the way, for those who are eagerly anticipating the NSIC Jeopardy at the end of the show, my cohort here has decided that he's going to flip the script and go ahead and ask me some things. So I'm sure it's going to be special teams related, just to, no reaction. That tells me I'm right. Okay. So moving on, Tom, we'll get to the games before we get to that exciting show ending segment.
This is called a poker face. I'm not telling you anything about the
I know.
We lead off with a couple of 4-win and 5-loss ball clubs doing it to it. Winona at UMary. The Marauders have shown plenty of firepower this fall. And Witt, I like them to win at home.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Now, see, you've already thrown a loop for me here because I was expecting you to go with Winona, and I was strategically going to go with Mary there. Well, I'm going to make a case that Mary coming off of an emotional win like that, just, with the Battle for the Big Lake, I think Winona bounces back here. I think head to head, I think straight up, I think they're the better football team. I'll take Winona here. If you're going to go with Mary, I like it.
All right. We got one difference right out of the chute.
Good.
Jamestown now visits MSU Moorhead. You want to
By the
change
way,
that
before we
slide?
get there,
Mm-hmm.
I want to let Dan. By the way, Dan, if your head could be any bigger in that shot, we would be able to see your thoughts. But the entire how would this entire season look if they had just held up against Augie? My goodness,
Let
that's
me
a
ask you this.
really interesting point because they would have had a winning. It'd be over 500 or right at 500, whatever it would be, and yeah.
Sioux Falls had a 28-10 lead on Augustin at the end of the third quarter and couldn't hold on.
Yes, we're talking about Mary right now, but that's okay. Way to pull it over to Sioux Falls side there.
Augie pulled out that last second win over Missouri Western to open the season. Mo West.
By the way, we had a special guest who is giving you an LOL.
Well, I think he's giving Dan Brookins an LOL.
Do you know who that is, Jared Epperson?
I know who Jared Epperson is. Yeah, number 5.
He played for Augustana a year ago. We should talk to him about him a little bit. So anyway,
I realize that fully.
He wanted to be a guest on the show. I told him, don't beg. It's like Tukes, don't beg.
We should also point out that the man who captioned all of these slides is Sir Witzelot this week.
That's why they're centered, but we'll carry on.
But the content, it's the content I'm worried about. I don't care about centering.
Yeah.
Jamestown visits Moorhead. I don't like the Jimmy's chances. That Moorhead offense, just too deadly.
Did you know that they played a JV game a few weeks ago?
No, I didn't.
See, people come. This is why people come to our show to get knowledge like this.
Who won the game?
I talked with other head coaches in the league, and they didn't know about that either. I think it's a great little idea. Obviously, Jamestown coming from the NAIA, that was a part of the NAIA having, JV contests and things like that. Well, on the off week, both the teams played each other, and I think it's a great idea.
Who won the game?
I don't know. It wasn't about that. It was about getting the younger players a chance for some game-like. It's like I haven't explained all the jokes.
I'm guessing they kept score.
I know. Jamestown did. I don't know. I'll text Coach right now and find out. Tom wants to know.
All right.
He'll say last week. I'll say nope. The JV game.
Who you got?
I got Moorhead. Come on now. If they were able to overcome last week, they're going to be just fine here, I think. And by the way, our guy Koenig agrees with me. Koenig, way to get on track with the right stuff there. I like that. And Dan says, unfortunately, we weren't able to pick the JV game. Yes, that would have been interesting. Tell the coaches, by the way, that we picked their game on the weekly show, the JV contest.
All right. Boy, there's a lot of jumps off the page, that caption. UMD hosting Bemidji State. In years past, this would have been a marquee matchup. Not so much here in 2025, right, Witt?
I don't know. I think that this is a game for Bemidji, that they are going to look at this as kind of the last gasp of big games for them this year. And I don't even know who they play next week, but I just have this is now their rival in the North. Let's be honest. And they have gotten the better of UMD for a little bit recently. So I think that they give them a good ball game here, but I just think Duluth has too much.
All right. We're in accordance there.
Okay.
This next one. 1-8 Concordia St. Paul at 1-8 Southwest Minnesota State. Did you know, Witt, the Mustangs have not won at home since 2023?
Well, how many games have they won in that time? One?
Well, it's 10 straight home losses.
Okay.
If you're scoring with
and they won at Jamestown, right?
Yep, earlier this year. That's their one win. The way, though, the Mustangs have been generating yards of late, I like their chances of ending this losing streak. Southwest is my pick.
Ooh. Yeah. I don't like what I'm seeing from Southwest recently, but if you would have asked me before the season, this would have been a slam dunk for me for Concordia. I'm going to go ahead. I still think Concordia is going to find a way to get to the pay window here, gets 2 wins.
All right, we're differing on 2. You may take the lead with your bold choices this week.
Well, things that everyone was expecting for most of the year anyhow, so.
Thanks for rubbing my nose in it. All right, our next one. Minnesota State travels to Sioux Falls to play Augustana, the defending champion Vikings. They are the NSIC's lone unbeaten team. Final 3 games, though, for Coach OJ. Northern, yes, they passed that test. Mankato this week. Next week, Wayne. That's a tough final 3 games, Witt. They beat Northern. I believe they handle the Mavs as well, and they're going to worry about Wayne when the time comes.
Interesting. I wasn't sure where you were going to go on that. Keep in mind, you and I were at this game a year ago when the Mavericks ended Augustana's season.
In the playoffs, yep.
Yes, and Augustana, I thought, was the better team. I wouldn't have said that this year, I don't think, but I think the trajectory for those 2 teams, I feel, is kind of going slowly in opposite directions. I don't love the Mavs offense right now. And I do like a lot of things Augustana is doing, frankly, on both sides of the ball. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Augustana in this one. I'm not sure. I don't feel like Mankato's quite the team that I saw to start the year.
I've picked the Vikings too, so I agree with you. Next up. Oh, what is this?
Yeah, so I wanted to give a little bit of love to one of the Mavs guys who has their own, version of an NIL here. We got Trayshawn Watson. He's got a special deal, Tom, that if we were in the Mankato area, 10 sweet barbecue boneless with ranch, I could do without the ranch. Lemon pepper fries, I could get on board with that. An autographed player's card. Maybe he needs to send one since we covered the league. I'm not just saying, I'm kind of saying, though. Just $12 for limited time, Tom. If we were in the area, would you?
If you were buying my drink, I might, yeah.
Boy, it's always got to be something. Mm-hmm. So even though there is not a Bosses in Mankato, so before everybody starts giving me a hard time about our sponsor, I just wanted to give a love to Trayshawn here and go ahead and maybe when I'm at the game on Saturday, Mankato can go ahead and find a way to bring me a card for the show. No pressure, nothing.
And we wish Trayshawn the best in his recovery from his injury.
Absolutely. So moving on.
Wayne State also comes to Sioux Falls on Saturday. I don't know why the league can't work the schedule to have Augie home, USF on the road, and vice versa. Because the last 2 weeks, these 2 teams are playing at the exact same time across town from one another.
I don't think it's even on their radar, to be honest.
So your caption here is, can the coup hold off a surging Wayne team? Have you been paying attention? Sioux Falls has won 3 in a row despite being down several players. I'd say that's surging.
They didn't beat Mankato, did they?
No, they didn't. No, they
okay.
didn't. But they have surged here 3 in a row to get to 6-3. Wayne State is sitting at 5-4. Final home game of the year for the Cougars. And despite facing a salty defense, Sioux Falls is going to prevail.
We've got a lot of different people here. We got John Dykstra, who I will be on air here within about 90 minutes. He says Wayne. We've got
of surgers. I like that.
Yeah, and we've got some others who are chirping. See, you're taking much better to this comments thing. For those who are just for those who are curious, Tom has found out how he can see the comments now. It's like a whole new world for him here. But and by the way, John also chiming on in about needing another reason to get some wings. Well, you know what? I might have to grab some between our shows here. But in any event, I think this is a low scoring game. I think that Wayne is going to give Sioux Falls a lot of problems with that defense they have. However, I think Sioux Falls will sell out against the Wayne running game and make them throw. And so I think we've got a scenario here where we're going to have a real low scoring game. I think first team to probably about 17 points wins. I do, in a case like this, I'm going to go with who I favor at quarterback, and that's going to be Tate Schaefer and company. I'm going to take Sioux Falls in this one. Did I almost have you?
I had you written down WSC, but now I had to scratch that out. We're the same. Okay. Last but not least.
Yes.
I can hardly wait. Oh, what's this?
And by the way, threw this on in there for kudos to the Wayne tailgaters. They have a great tailgate crew. Tom, they're going to be there setting up at 9 a.m. Tom, you'll be like a local legend or something. And you can go on out there and maybe they'll have some egg bake stuff or an egg casserole for you. What do you think?
That sounds darn good if you ask me.
Well, see, they have a contingent that watches this show. I'm telling you right now. Kowalczyk's old man watches this show. I know that.
All right.
Anyway.
I may have to stop in and say, hey.
Yeah, so I want to give them kudos there for them doing that. That's,
you know what? You don't live too far from the stadium. You might as well come over and have breakfast at the Wayne State tailgate and then head over to Augie.
Well, and the fact that I make breakfast for my boys on Saturday mornings, but other than that small inconvenience, and boys, I'd love to make you breakfast, but Tom says I should go and meet the tailgaters. But
you don't have them every Saturday.
I do, but Saturday morning I do. But you know, once again, this is the category of things we'll talk about more after the show.
Did you get that weight bench put together with them last week?
No, that we'll talk about that later, and maybe even have some video for next week. There you go.
All right. The final one: can a banged up Northern D stop the flex bone? Northern State is hosting Minot State. The key word there, Witt, is hosting. So you know who I'm picking.
I'll let you take mine out. There we go.
No, you know who I'm picking. Northern State, man. NSU.
You're not trying to waddle? You're not going with Coach Shields and company.
No, I'm going to go with the home team because they're a much different squad playing at Dakota Bank Stadium.
I got the impression that you were probably more on Minot for a portion of the season, but them getting to the pay window only a few times, you've kind of lost some of that spark for them.
Well, the loss at Mary kind of soured me. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, they did kind of disappoint you there. I would agree with you on Northern, even though this one has some level of trap to it almost after. But I mean, it's really more of a letdown. Don't let Augie beat you twice kind of thing for Northern. Now this is not a night game, so this is a 2:00 start.
I don't care when it starts. They're playing at home.
So Northern's got to get the juice a little earlier in the day. So I think there's a little bit of an alert here with a banged up Northern defense. This could be a problem with Minot. Could be a problem. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, that said, I'm going to stay with my Northern pick, but I'm going to say right now, don't be surprised if all of a sudden this thing goes a little sideways.
All right, we differ on two of them. So it could be a one-game lead for me. You could be in the lead. Who knows? We'll find out next week. Hopefully I'm still on top.
No, and John's giving me a hard time saying I should pick them. John, I already have a huge upset pick coming up for the MIAA show, so tune in then. That was a good tease, wasn't it, Tom?
I guess. I'm not
Okay.
going to watch, but thanks anyway.
Well, okay. By the way, before you play Stump Wit, NSIC Network, always appreciative for everything we get from them. Sam Tatstad also going ahead and getting that video. All good. Yeah, Tom, I agree with everyone in the comments what they're saying there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove our show here, our slideshow. And so what do you got for me, buddy?
All right. NSIC Jeopardy. Witt usually tries to stump me. We're turning the tables. I'm throwing a curveball at him.
Well, normally
ready?
I give you some low-hanging fruit, but, it is what it is.
You never give me any low-hanging fruit. It's always top shelf stuff. All right.
And hold on. I'm going to turn off my other monitor and not do a Jeff Pappas. Okay. I'll look right ahead.
Okay. It's a stare down here. After I ask the question, I want nothing but you locked on my eyes. Okay. We're going to start off with.
Where are we going with this? Anyway.
We're going to go with an offensive question.
Okay.
We mentioned Luke Denicky earlier in the show. The receiver for Minnesota Duluth. He leads the league in reception yards, 918 of them.
Yep.
Gage Florence, mentioned earlier as well, has 85 catches to lead the Northern Sun.
Yes.
But who is it among qualifying receivers?
Whoa. Among qualifying receivers, when you say that, I feel like we got some trickery going, but okay.
Well, among the number of catches and games played, he's a qualifying receiver. This young man leads the conference in yards per catch.
Oh, good.
Who is it?
Okay.
I can give you the yards per catch average. You want it?
What is it, about 18, 17?
19.7.
Okay.
And you've heard of him. You've seen him play in person. I'm giving you more hints than you've ever given me.
Well, Watson would have been my guess, but I don't think that he's going to have played enough games.
He's not qualified, yes.
That's what I was thinking. I think I know where you're going with this, and I'm going to say Adonis Hutchinson. That wasn't a bad guess, though, because he's scored on some long bombs.
He's averaging about 16-something a catch.
Okay.
The receiver, Grant Guyette, Minnesota State Mankato.
Gotcha. I could see it because he's replaced what they were trying to do with Watson. So that makes sense. Good question.
All right. Second question.
Really difficult, but good question.
Second question. Defense oriented here.
Okay.
This team has 3 of the top 4. Actually, 3 of the top 4 and 4 of the top 10 tacklers for loss. TFL guys. 3 of the top 4 are this one team, and they've got another teammate to round out the top 10. And if you can tell me who they are, it'll be an added bonus.
I won't be able to do that, but I'm going between. It's either going to be Wayne or it's going to be Northern State. Northern State's guys may have fallen off in regards to the injured component there. I'm going to go with Wayne State, and I don't have who they are.
Jess Kirchel, Alex
Kowalczyk. He was the obvious one because he's leading the league, I think.
Caden Sutton, John Frank. They're all in the top 10. They play for Wayne State.
Good job. I got it right.
Well, you got it right. One right, one wrong so far.
Okay.
All right. I could do special teams, but I'm not. We're going back to offense.
You know what? You're already get. These are difficult questions to begin with. So if you want to throw it out there, I'm fine.
No, that'd be too easy, I think. Here's the last question on offense. There are 4 quarterbacks in the conference who have rushed for more than 500 yards. Can you tell me who they are?
Well, Jack Strand's trying to mess with that a little bit, but anyway.
And if you can do it in descending order, I will tip my hat or take my hair out of my
yeah,
ponytail and shake it loose.
let's just deal with getting the names right. So Wall Jasper is going to be one of them. Wait, so it's over 500 yards? Okay. And is this the minimum game thing again, or is this just 500 yards?
500 yards. They're all
Now,
qualified.
Cam Dean, I don't think would have been there yet, so I'm not going to say Cam Dean. Oh, hold on. I'm thinking maybe Daniel Britt, but I'm not guessing it yet. Hold on. Okay, so I know the Minot quarterback, Chrisman. He's going to be in that for
Two
sure.
down, 2 to go.
Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. I'm just running through the teams right now in my head because it's not going to be anybody from Wayne. It's not going to be anybody from Concordia. Not going to be anybody from Augie. I'm going to say Britt then.
You've only got a certain period of time, Witt, to answer. You don't have all
I'm going to say Britt. Okay.
3 for 3.
Mm.
You're not looking at me. You're looking at that second monitor.
No, my monitor's right here, buddy. I'm gonna have to go with the quarterback of Mankato, Thompson.
Final answer, as
Thompson.
Regis would say.
Yes.
You failed.
Who was it?
Cole Henches, Jamestown.
I didn't realize he had rushed for that many yards. That's a real good question.
Thank you very much. You said that twice to me.
Now this is legit. I honestly was thinking about saying Connor Carver.
He's fallen off.
Are you sure he hasn't gotten to 500?
Not according to the NSIC stats that I looked at earlier today.
I'm going to pull this up now. But anyway,
he's fact checking me in live.
I don't doubt you're right. I'm just letting the curiosity get the best of me right now, and I'm pretty resourceful and quick in doing this. And he has 609 rushing yards.
Really? There are 6.
What other questions do you have wrong?
All right, there are 5 quarterbacks then. He did not show up on the stat page that I was looking at.
What a fail. What a bit. Anyway.
Okay. But it was a good question.
I bet Thompson probably does too now that I'm saying that.
All right.
No,
that
anyway.
Was fun. I'd like to turn the tables on you just to get you riled up a little.
We can do that each week. I'm game for it. So
all right. So when we quit here now, can we have a production meeting so you can tell me what the answers are to the questions I posed to you earlier?
I do have some things I need to do before the other show, but I guess I can make time for you.
Thank you.
Now keep in mind nobody else on the audience cares about that, so it's been real.
I think they might want to know how long we're going to go.
They'll find out in a week. So everyone who tuned on in, thank you very much. And MIAA in about 80 minutes. Tom will special guest, so everybody tune on in.
See you, everybody.